Got all of our stuff. Here we go. Phoenix, we're coming for you.
So this was an absolute bear of a journey. It was 26 hours, and we decided to drive because we have Kyoko with us, who cannot fly, easily at least. So we decided to drive 26 hours, and we went through several states. And it was just fascinating to see, starting in Illinois, kind of how the scenery changes, and to see kind of the vastness of the country. So we started with the lushness of Illinois, ended up in Missouri, going through St. Louis with that classic arch. We ended up stopping in St. Louis for a quick lunch to visit a friend, and then back on the road we went. We passed through a number of states. Right after Missouri ended up being Oklahoma. The only thing going through my mind while driving through Oklahoma was a song in Twisters, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. And really, it's just vast expanses of not really too much and just rolling plains. So you can easily see how Twisters kind of come and tear up that landscape. But Oklahoma was actually also where we stopped for the first night. We decided to break it up into about 10 hours, and 6 hours to make it manageable because we had to do a number of stops. So the first city we stayed in was actually Tulsa, which was an interesting city to stay in. I wouldn't say it was anything remarkable from my point of view. Sorry to anyone who might be from Tulsa, but we got back on the road pretty early right after that.
All right, we are back on the road. We're leaving Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're going to stop in Oklahoma City for breakfast, and then we are on the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico today for day 2 of this drive to Phoenix.
So OKC is home of the champs, and they really do love that team. There are banners everywhere. But we stopped for lunch on recommendation from one of my attendings at the Medical College of Wisconsin, from where we're coming from. And it was very, very nice, actually. And then he recommended we stop at the OKC bombing memorial and kind of museum area. Unfortunately, the museum was closed, but very cool experience to kind of be able to take that in and see kind of the magnitude of what had happened at that period on April 15th, 1995. But after that, we were back on the road and into Texas. And let me say, this part of Texas we drove through was kind of like that top square portion, and there was absolutely nothing there. And most of the drive was just straight, so we watched the greatest show of all time, Avatar, on the way.
This is the part of the drive where there's literally nothing around. Probably the worst part of the drive.
At this point of the drive, we started to get a bit antsy, so there were a lot more pee breaks and a lot more breaks to walk Kyoko in random places, such as this Taco Bell. But we made it happen. This day really started wearing on us a little bit because there's just nothing. There was not even really any big cities along the way. But finally, we made it into New Mexico.
So we are at the tail end of day 2 pretty much. We're about an hour and a half to 2 hours out of Albuquerque, which is where we're staying. Then the last day, one day, we finish it up, we get to Phoenix. But New Mexico, starting to get desert-like. Not quite there yet, but almost.
Once again, Kyoko absolutely loved her hotel room and was tearing it up, rolling all over the sheets, all over the pillows, having zoomies all over the place. And Albuquerque was actually a really interesting place. It looks kind of run down in a way, but it has very nice things within it. And a lot of the food that we had there was actually phenomenal. And we'll try to make a trip there at some point to try some more of the food, but it was very good. And we even got to see a double rainbow kind of on the road as we were going back to our hotel after dinner. But then next day was 5 a.m. back on the road, nice and early so that we can finish up our drive in Phoenix.
All right, it's the last day of this road trip. We are leaving Albuquerque bright and early at 5 a.m. and we are on the way to Phoenix. And this is a one-way trip. We're not going anywhere else now.
Now being the third day driving, we were definitely getting more antsy along the way, and it felt like it took a little bit longer than the other days, even though it was only 6 hours. But the landscape really started to change and become that desert-like red rock, mountainous type terrain, which was absolutely gorgeous driving through. And we realized that kind of a lot of the area in Arizona has actual wooded areas, and it's not just all a flat desert, because we've never actually been into this area. So it was very unique, and finally we got into Phoenix, and pretty much right as we got there, our U-boxes were delivered and all of our stuff was there. Our movers came pretty shortly after that we hired because we were extremely scared to work in this heat right away, and it was pretty smooth and everything got into our apartment, and pretty much this week has been an absolute whirlwind of just getting stuff put together. It was also very nice because my parents decided to come down right essentially as we got there, so they were able to help out with quite a bit, even just making lunch at their Airbnb. But we got done a lot of big business, as you'll see here, and really starting to put together the place. I honestly didn't take too many videos during the week just because it was so hectic and there was a lot going on. But my parents are now gone, and we'll see how we settle in without them now that truly it's just myself, my wife, and Kyoko here. But the biggest thing is we're trying to make sure that we survive this heat. It's honestly not been as terrible as I thought, but definitely very, very hot, and we're relying on a lot of these misters here. But fortunately, there's not that many misters outside for working out and running, so most of my training has been at Lifetime. I've still been very consistent, haven't missed a workout, but just kind of doing a little bit easier stuff this week just because of the hectic nature of moving week. I did my first outdoor run just today. I'm recording this on Saturday, so you'll hear from me there, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog.
First outdoor run. It definitely is very dry. Not as bad as I thought, but it's also only 90 degrees out.
All right, so I just finished up this run and showered that you just saw, and that's actually it for this vlog. It's Saturday today. The next week, we are actually heading to LA later today to go hang out with my in-laws. We'll be there for a week. So not too much more Phoenix content for the next vlog coming up. You'll get most of LA stuff, but there's some exciting stuff in there which we'll take you along for. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, this will be a vlog every single week for 5 years. I'll tell you guys a little bit about why I'm doing that in another later vlog. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.